Okay, child's pose. And then push it up onto your hands and knees. Go into a neutral spine, back straight, knees underneath your hips, hands underneath your shoulders, and push into a cat stretch. Hold the cat. And we're going to exhale it into a cow. Lift up your tailbone, lift up your chest. Don't dip too much into your back. Back into a cat. And cow. Cat again. And I've got a little curveball I'm going to throw at you today. And then tap your toes under, downward facing dog. Walk it out as usual. Give yourself some time just to stretch whatever needs to be stretched. If you did go for a legal or illegal jog, David, then I'm pointing to you specifically.
Are they on?
Are
they on?
I don't know if they're on. David, if you're there, we all know now what you did. Place your heels down bit by bit. Run, stretch out those calves. No, he's not going to be on.
It should be.
He would rather jog illegally than do exercise at home. And if you went for a legal jog, then this is good for you as well. And then just lift up onto your toes. Push your bum back to the back corner of the room. Tuck your tummy in, straighten out your back, lock out your shoulders, and then drop your heels behind your toes. And just hold that for 5 breaths. Inhale, exhale. You can move around if you're uncomfortable. You don't have to stay there if the stretch is too much. Don't force those heels down. My heels can't go to the floor unless I'm really, really warmed up. So don't worry too much about that.
6 breaths.
Forwards to a plank. Tuck your tailbone in. Engage your quad. Push your heels back. And just hold. Back to a downward dog. We're going to lift up the right leg. Take it to the front of the mat. Help it along if you can't get it there yourself. Put the back knee down. A little bit of hip flexors. Put the back knee down. Lift up 90 degrees on that back leg. Tuck the tailbone in and just hold that. Just want to move my mouse out of the way. Just hold that. Tuck the tailbone in. Then lean forward a little bit to bring it back up to the top. If you do lean forward, just try not to arch your back. Keep the back straight, keep the tailbone tucked in. Lean forward a bit, keep everything tucked in, and push it back with the tailbone tuck. Keep that tailbone tuck. Take the left arm over into that side dip towards the right. Keep a straight line. Back to the middle. Tuck the tailbone in. That should start to ease off now. If you did feel it a lot, again, keep the body straight. Dip into that. Try not to arch. And you can lean forward slightly, not to arch yourself up. And lift it back up to that tailbone tuck. You should feel that. Hands towards the mat. Keep a straight line with your back. Tuck your tailbone, tuck your knee up. Put your heel back. Leave the left hand and twist to the right. And we're going to do something fun now. We're going to take the front foot and take it back into a side plank. Hold the side plank. Take that top arm over, flex yourself into that, lift up your waist, push it back to side plank. Back to plank. And downward facing dog. Just going to switch sides because I'm going to do the other side now. Lift up your left leg. Tuck it into your chest. Bring it to the front of the mat. Put the back knee down. And just lift up. Sorry. Lift up on that back knee. I've got stuff coming up on my screen. Lift up on that back knee. Release the wrong way around. Let's just give him time. Tuck that tailbone in, hold that stretch. You should feel this in the back leg if that tailbone is properly tucked in. Keep that back straight, dip it forward, and take it back. Tuck the tailbone in, dip it forward, and take it back. Tuck that tailbone in. Take the right arm over into that side stretch, dip a little. And back to the top. Dip it in one more time and come up. Tuck that tailbone in. Tuck it in big time so that you really feel that stretch before we go on. Take your hands to the mat. Keep your back straight. Leave the, lift up your back knee. Push that heel back. Leave the right hand. Twist to the left. And then, if you can, take it back to a side plank. Almost fell. Take the arm over. Minion is very confused. Lift it back up into that side plank. All the way down to plank. Lift back into downward dog. Stretch it out. Okay, we're going to walk it out and walk it into the front of the mat. Keep the legs bent, torso onto your knees, and just relax your shoulders, stretch it out. Then we're going to straighten out our legs, go into a tabletop back. Just heel toe your feet hip distance apart. Tabletop back, keep your tummy in. And like yesterday, we did the seated. We're just going to forward bend, keeping that back straight, pivot from the hips. Keep the weight to the front of the feet. And inhale back to tabletop. Exhale all the way down. Don't bend your back. Keep your back nice and straight. Pivot from your hips. And inhale, tabletop. Feet to the front of the mat. One kind of forgets that. I tend to lean back a little bit. And exhale, forward bend. Inhale, tabletop. And last exhale, chest going to your knees. The crown of your head can go to the floor. Hold that stretch. Keep the tummy in. Weight to the front of the feet. And back to tabletop. Take a nice deep breath in, lift it up all the way to the top, pivot from the hips, and hands to your chest. Oh, my head is cut off. Let me just fix that. Because we are going to do a goddess. Okay. Goddess. Take your feet wide and kind of in a plie position, feet to the corners of the mat, as wide as you want. Minion, you have to make sure someone can see you. Okay.
I can't. What else? I can't.
Minion is very he hides. There we go. Okay. Legs nice and wide. Hands into your chest. Tuck your tailbone in before we start and keep it tucked in. Then we're going to bend the knees into a goddess. Three. I can't. Okay, tuck the tailbone in while you're there. Hold it. Just get used to that feeling. You can bounce it a little bit. Make sure the knees goes over the toes, the knees goes out a little bit. And just adjust your legs if you have to. And stay down. See if you can go in a little bit deeper. Tuck the tailbone in. Straighten out. Take a nice deep breath in. And back to goddess. Hands behind your head, tailbone tucked in. You're just going to dip from knee to, you don't have to touch the knee. Dip just towards that side and keep the body straight, lift it back up. And the other side. Lift it back up to the first side. Keep the tummy in. Lift it back up. And here we go again. Go back to goddess. Straighten out your arms. We're going to do the same. Arm to the front. Almost to push your knee back a little bit. Dip to one side, almost like you're doing a triangle. Lift it back up. The second side, down. Lift it back up. And again. Lift it back up. And slow. And breathe. Take a nice deep breath in, lift it up, straighten out your legs, tuck in your tailbone, go back to goddess. Now just bounce it, get used to that goddess. You can move from side to side while you bounce. And straighten it back up. And back to goddess. Hands behind your head again. We're going to dip to the one side, hold it there. Straighten out the opposite leg. And bring it back to a goddess. Lift it back up. Dip to the other side. Straighten out the opposite leg. Bring it back to a goddess. Lift it back up. Let's just take a nice deep breath in, rest the legs. I think Minion's going to die. Step it in if your ankles are sore. Kick it out. Lose weight now. Okay. Take your legs wide, rock your shoulders back. Tuck in your tailbone. Hands into your chest. Going to your goddess. Lift up your arms. Separate your hands, shoulders back and down. We're going to dip towards the one side and back to goddess. Other side and back to goddess. Shoulders down. Take a nice deep breath in. Lift it up. And hands to your chest. Now, I hope you're ready. We're going to put everything together now. Are you ready?
Yes.
Shake it out. I do feel my legs. I went for a jog as well, a legal one. Okay. Hands into your chest, go into a goddess. First, we're going to put our hands behind our ears. We're going to dip to the one side and bring it back. Dip to the other side and bring it back. Straighten out your arms. One side and back. Other side. Keep the goddess and back. Keep a straight line. Hands behind your head. Dip to the first side. Straighten out the opposite leg. Bring it back to goddess. Lift it back up. Dip to the other side. Straighten out the opposite leg. Dip back to goddess. Lift it back up. Lift up your arms. Dip towards the one side. And back to the top. Shoulders back and down. Other side. And back. Let go of your arms. Take a nice deep breath in. Lift it up. Hands into your chest. Go all the way down into a goddess. Tuck your tailbone in. See if you can go a little bit deeper. Take a nice deep breath in, lift it up. Back into a goddess. See if you can go a little bit lower. Lift it up. And down. Into a goddess again, tuck your tailbone in. See if you can go lower. Lift it up. Shoulders down when your arms is lifted. Last goddess, for now, and hop it. Side to side, and back to hop. Take a nice deep breath in, lift it up. And step it in. Kick out your legs if they're a little bit sore. Ah, that was fun. Okay, feet together. Bend your knees a little bit. Take a nice deep breath in and just go into a forward bend. Keep your back straightish. Keep your legs slightly bent for now. Just relax over that. Roll it back up. All the way to the top. Shrug your shoulders back. Step it wide. Feet out the A. Let the knees follow the feet. Keep your tummy tucked in. Tailbone in, so hold on, make sure that goes in. Go into your goddess again. Hold the goddess. Arms behind your head. Dip it to one side. Lift it back up. Dip to the other side. Your pheasants has arrived. Yay! Lift it back up. Take your arms to the side. Drop it one side. Hold. And take it back. Drop it other side. Hold. Take it back. Arms behind your head. Drop it again. Straighten out the opposite leg. And back to goddess. Lift it back up. Drop the other side. Straighten the opposite leg out. And back to goddess. Lift it back up. Lift up your arms. Shoulders back and down. Drop it to one side. Hold that. Don't collapse. Back to the top. Other side. Back to the top. Let go of your arms. Lift it up. Straighten out. Keep your legs wide. Turn your feet forward. So make sure you can't see my feet, but they're forward. Dip into a tabletop. Hold that tabletop. Let the crown of your head go forward. Open up your arms. Hold that position. Lean a little bit to the front of your toes. Take your hands to the mat and forward bend. Pivot from the hips. Straighten out the back. And just stretch it out. Walk your hands forward. Keep that position with your feet. And you're going to push back into a wide-legged downward dog. So push it back. And bring it all the way back. Step it in. Legs bend. Roll it up all the way to the top. Shrug your shoulders back. Are you okay?
Yes.
How is your goddess feeling?
Oh, it's quite difficult.
Oh, okay. We've got a side plank again, and then we're done with that with the power up. So to the back of your mat, you can just sit down on your knees, put your bum on your heels, and just roll it out into a downward dog.
Child or downward dog?
Oh, sorry, child pose. Come up onto your hands and knees. I'm confusing everything today. Onto your hands and knees. And we're going to push into a plank and do a bit of side planks. It doesn't matter which way you go first. Go to the front first so that you can see. And then the back, obviously. So from that hands and knees position, keep your tummy nicely tucked in. Push back into your plank. Legs strong. Tailbone tucked in. Glutes activated, so squeeze them. Lift up the hand that takes you to the front of the room so that you can look to the front into that side plank. Take your arms over your head. Stretch it out. Lift it back up into side plank. For those of you who want to, you can take your bottom leg forward. Hold that side plank. And bring it back to plank. So find your plank. Tuck your tailbone in. Lift to the other side, so make sure you go the other way. Lift up the top arm. Take it over your head, into that stretch, and all the way back to the top. You can lift up the bottom legs, keep it to the front. Hold that position. Bring it back to plank. Knees down, child's pose. Just hold that child's pose. Got stuff coming up on my screen, so I just want to take it away. Okay. Did you enjoy that? Yes, I can hear you. Yay, I'm glad you enjoyed that. Louis, did you enjoy that? Okay, we're going to do that one more time. You know what to do now. So when you're ready, onto your hands and knees, back straight. Tuck your toes under, plank. Lift to the front first. Turn into your side plank. Take it over your head. Stretch out that waist. You can even lift up a little bit. Bring it back to the top. Bring that bottom leg forward, the knee, the leg, that's up to you. The knee's easier. Push it back to plank. Okay, make sure you're aligned. Then lift to the other side, into the side plank. Take it over your head. Bring it back to the top. Lift the bottom knee or foot. That's up to you. I'm cheating, I'm doing easier. Back to plank. Knees to the floor. Child's pose. Rest it out. Stretch it out. We're going to walk our arms to the left. Keep the bum on the heels and just stretch that out. That's a much needed stretch. And walk it all the way to the other side for a much needed stretch. Back to the middle. Stretch it out. And just go your elbows on the floor. Your back straight, so don't dip your tailbone. Knees underneath your hips. And push into that cat stretch, which is a little bit more refined and targeted to the lower back. And into a light cow, lifting up your chest. Back into a cat, that low cat. Hold that low cat. You can rock it forwards and back, keeping your abs activated. And relax. Go back onto your hands and knees. And we're going to do frog. So frog we're going to hold for a bit. Louis is very excited. So I'll show you from the front because just so that you can see my feet alignment, I can't be there to help you. He's cheating, he's going to check something. Okay, so I'll show you quickly and then I'll show you again so that you're not confused. So you're on your hands and knees. I'll show you from both directions. You take your knees as wide as possible. Do roll up your mat so that your knees is protected because your knees does get sore. So as wide as possible. Then just look at my feet. My heels is behind my knees and my feet sticking out like a proper frog. Once you're in that position, you put your elbows down. I hold mine like this and you push back. So not forwards. If you're forwards, you won't feel it. You push back as far as you can. And then you should feel that in your groin. Let me just show you from the side, or Louis will show you.
Really?
So from the side, you take your legs out as far as you can. Wait, can't see me. Just like Louis. As far as you can, feet out. You go down on your elbows, back straight, and then you push back towards your feet, and then you should feel it. So ready yourself in that frog. If there's any of you who don't feel it, just get up and type to me so that I can guide you. But it's usually nice and wide, knees, feet out like a frog, and then pushing. Louis, push back, pushing back. Some people won't be able to go too far, and some people will be able to go a little bit further. I'm going to do this with you, otherwise I won't have a guide as to when to stop.
Right about now.
Oh, Minion. Minion is not happy. So yes, go into your frog, go down on your arms, and once you're down, push back. Now what I always say in class is you can push it back and then relieve a little bit forward, and then push it back again. More back than forward. Keep in your tummy. Your knees should actually want to slide out a little bit once it starts to relax. This is like a proper groin stretch. So that's the muscles it's targeting. And it is part, especially your anterior adductor muscles, which is your groin muscles. That's also part of your hip flexion. It's not a primary mover, but it is there to flex. So you are basically also just stretching hip flexors at the moment. Push it back. So again, that will help with your range of motion in your glutes if your hip flexors is loose and ready towards the back. So think of this pain as functional pain, fun pain. It's very painful, isn't it? Do move your knees out if you feel it's starting to relax. Give it time. Keep your tummy in. Mine is in, you just can't see it. I wanted to say this is a nice one to do at home, but you are home.
Also, the most difficult part is getting out.
Yeah, so we have to get out of this now, which is a little bit of a trick because your legs are so wide. So I always just say, put your chest down, press it up, and bring it in. You can come up, you can come up. Let's see how long it takes Minion to get up. Come on, Minion.
I cannot.
Oh, did you? I would love to hear the comments on the frog stretch. Let's continue on.
The devil's pose.
The devil's pose. Okay. Let's continue that inner thigh stretching. So when you're ready, set one leg out and the other one in. So if you can sit that out, sit nice and high on your tailbone. We're first going into the same kind of stretch we did with the goddess. So you're sliding down that long leg, keeping your waist lifted and your chest forward, shoulders stacked. You're going down and then taking that top arm over into that stretch. Don't worry too much about going down far because you tend to dip forward when you do that. Keep it straight. Try not to bring your arm forward. It's kind of a C curve, not kind of, it is a C curve with your back. So your back's making a nice C curve, a nice mobility stretch. Lift that top arm up all the way to the top and then just walk it forward. Kind of push, lift up your tailbone, push into your pubic bone a little bit. Keep your back straight and walk forward. And you should feel that stretching on the inside of the hamstring, semi-tendonitis, semi-membranous. I don't know. It's got so many difficult names. But one of the smaller, the medial hamstring. So let that stretch a little bit. It also stretches your longer adductor muscles, which also has a name. Roll it back up. And just bring that leg in with your arm. Switch sides. Sit up nice and high. Again, the chest is going forward. You're sliding down that leg, Taking the top one over, again, don't lean forward, keep it straight, and just enjoy that stretch. That stretches the waist, put your back in a C curve, stretches there as well, hamstring. I have to remember that name. Lift it back up. And then kind of roll over towards your pubic bone. So roll over, lift up your tailbone, keep your back straight, walk it forward, and just stretch out again the medial hamstring and some of your adductors. Not corona, dry throat. Roll it back up. Just cross your legs in. Oh, shrug your shoulders back. Just tuck in your chin, push it back, and take a nice deep breath in. And you are done for today. Thank you very much for coming. I think Minion is very happy that is finished.
Hooray!